Hey everyone, Shintai here, and I'm joined by my co-host, UltimateFloyd. We are the Final Bosses podcast. How you doing, man?
Not bad. You?
I'm pretty good. Well, kind of. We'll get into that. I do want to say real quick, I want to apologize for episode 2 taking as long as it did. That was my fault. I wasn't wearing headphones. Made editing the audio a little more annoying than it should have been. Because if I didn't edit it, then you would have heard UltimateFloyd echoing in the background, and that would have sucked. So I spend a lot of time to make sure that you didn't hear it. So this time, that won't happen. And hopefully from now on, we can, have at least a little bit more of a consistent release with the podcast. But anyways, what you been playing, man?
So, okay, let's start with Metroid Other M.
Oh!
Yeah, so it's probably a lot of people are confused why I would actually play this game after everyone's basically been shitting on this game since release.
Trash.
But I want to do a Metroid series review, and this is the last game I need to play. Some people would argue it's not like a mainline Metroid game, but I don't know. I consider it kind of part of the main series. I think it's considered generally still that it is, right?
It's canon.
Yeah, it's canon.
Sadly.
I'm avoiding the spin-offs like Metroid Pinball and Federation Force I'm not bothering with. But anyways, this is the last game I need to play, so I figured, you know what? Fuck it. How bad can it be? I don't hate this game. I really don't. There's parts of it I absolutely hate. The story is just abysmal. I hate any time the game attempts to tell a story or give Samus I don't know, her voice actor is just she's so monotone and just it's awful. Her voice acting is just terrible, and that it doesn't and it doesn't help that the dialogue in this game is just cringe-worthy. Anytime a cutscene happens, I'm just please stop. Don't talk anymore. It's just, oh man, the story bits in this game are just absolutely dreadful. But the gameplay it's weird. I mean, it's not really Metroid to me. It's lacking the exploration. It's aggressively linear. I think you can actually go and backtrack later in the game, probably when you get all your abilities, which I'll probably end up doing. You
do, but even then, it never really feels like you're playing a Metroid game.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, honestly, because up until now, and I'm probably 6 hours in. I'm probably actually, after we record the podcast, I'm probably going to try to finish it up. But I don't know, the combat is not very good. There's kind of these dodging mechanics, but they're really weird. You have to press the D-pad in time, when a projectile comes at you. It's a little iffy. It's not really reliable 100% of the time. And then other than that, you're just basically spamming fire on these enemies and just waiting for opportunities to attack them. And it's weird because this game's this 2D 3D mix where you can kind of go up and down, left and right through these environments, but it's a lot of just endless corridors, which is not fun at all. The exploration just completely lacking. And then there's these first person sequences which are implemented so poorly.
Oh god, yeah.
Because first there's the pixel hunt parts where it just the game just stops, and then you have to search this area for a little part of the environment you have to be looking at, and a lot of times it's not
pixel.
Yeah, it's
sometimes
it's not obvious at all what you should be looking at, and some of those sequences I'm just what the fuck do I do? Where is this thing I'm supposed to be looking for?
And this is a Nintendo Wii game, so it's still in standard definition.
Yeah, it's it's hard to tell things. But in combat, the first person stuff is really annoying because you have to flip the Wiimote up vertically and then point at the screen to shoot missiles. And a lot of enemies, you have to use the missiles to kill them. And you're trying to dodge attacks and then getting an opening to make sure you can take 2 seconds to flip it vertically is so frustrating. It's just it's not natural at all. You shouldn't have to take 2 seconds to do an essential function of the game, and then you're holding the Wiimote sideways for the rest of the game. And I fucking hate the Wiimote sideways. It's so uncomfortable. So
Sucks.
I can only play this game like an hour at a time before my hands start to cramp. It's I don't know, but I mean mostly the game's just boring. Like I'm not having fun with it. I don't hate it. I don't have like a complete hatred for it, but I'm definitely I want it to be over with. I gotta say.
I just want to say though, imagine how much better that game would be. I wouldn't go as far as to say like a game that's worthy of being a Metroid game or anything, but just for a moment, imagine how much better it would be if you had a regular controller.
Yeah, I know. It's
You'd
like,
have a dedicated dodge button. Maybe you can have a button that you hold down in order to go in first person mode. You know, like a lot of things about the game that just are struggling to work because of that fucking Wiimote would make perfect sense on a regular controller.
It would, yeah. I when I first played the game, I was kind of thrown off. Because I had my nunchuck attached to it, thinking that that's how you controlled the game.
Nope.
And then it was like I was using the analog stick and nothing's happening. I'm not moving my character. I was like, what?
Even
the
that
fuck?
would have been better. Like, yeah, even that would have been better.
Because yeah, you have some buttons on the nunchuck too. I would have been way better.
And you could hold down the Z button in order to go into the first person mode or something.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's definitely like probably the worst Metroid game I've played by far. But other than that, Tekken 7 I've been playing, which I'm not actually that into fighting games. But the Tekken series I've enjoyed in the past, so I decided to actually pick this one up, and I actually just got the platinum for it. I really like Tekken. I mean, I'm terrible at it, but it's fun. It's got like this really deep, fighting engine behind it. I like a lot of the characters and like the kind of more melee combat. The story mode I thought was kind of interesting. It's very cinematic. You actually fight Akuma, and he's like integrated into the story, which is really odd, but it's actually pretty great. The story itself is kind of confusing. Like I didn't really understand most of it, but
What the fuck do you expect from Tekken?
yeah, but it was still like kind of cinematic and fun and over the top. But there's also like this treasure mode where you're like collecting all these items to equip your characters. Like there's an insane level of character customization, which is really fun. I've seen some really cool characters, but the online, I don't know if it's fixed now. I think there was a recent update, but the online on PS4 at least is completely broken. Like you cannot get into matchmaking with anybody, and it lags whenever you do, which that's unfortunate because I was really hoping to try online out, but I never got the chance to. I just basically played single player. There's not a whole lot of modes to it, but I don't know. For full price, it's maybe a little much, but I have enjoyed the game quite a bit. And the platinum is like actually really easy if anyone's interested in easy platinums.
Yeah, I saw your Twitter, and you're like, I platinumed already. I'm like, didn't this game just come out?
No,
Shit.
yeah, you can do it in like 10 hours maybe. It's
Wow.
Yeah, it's really easy. But yeah, other than that, like quickly, Fire Emblem Echoes I played, but I dropped that game. The Cantor enemies, which like there are these enemies that constantly respawn other enemies. It was like one of those design decisions that was so frustrating that I ended up dropping the game because of it. But I have a video.
I actually picked that game up, so I'm gonna have to look forward to that.
A lot of people don't. They find it doesn't like ruin the game for them, but to me, like it's one of my biggest pet peeves of video games. So it was enough for me to just completely drop it, despite liking pretty much everything else about it.
Well, you know what, man? Fuck that shit. Go play some Path of Radiance.
I need to play that, but GameCube.
It's got none of that waifu shit. They ain't no fucking romances. It's all about war.
See, this game is like that. It doesn't have any of that waifu stuff, actually, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's because it's a remake of one of the older ones. I think it was on the NES, the Famicom.
Yeah, it's like the second Fire Emblem game, which I think it's pretty faithful to that from what I've seen, actually.
Interesting. Yeah, I never played the original game, so I do want to try out Echoes. I wouldn't go as far as say I'm like a huge Fire Emblem fan, but I do like the series, and the thing is, there's just like way too many games. Like there's a ton of games in the series. It's a little overwhelming if you want to become a fan because there's so much of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I still think Awakening though is probably like the best one to get people started. Yeah, I mean, unless unless the waifu kind of stuff just completely puts you off, then maybe something like Path of Radiance. I don't know.
Actually, I was able to convince like 3 friends to play Awakening, and I sold them on it just on the waifu shit.
No, dude, so many people love that stuff, but I'm sure like tons of hardcore Fire Emblem fans are just like, what happened?
Oh, definitely. And you can't blame them because it's like this series that was like really well written and had like these really poignant messages about war and like these really interesting and intricate stories about politics is now boiled down to I want to fuck her.
Yeah,
You know?
I can understand the disappointment there for sure.
But at the same time, you have to like respect the fact that man that they knew what they were doing. Like not only can you like get all these other characters to fuck each other, but you have your own character. You can decide. You can have a piece of the pie yourself, and you have your own character that you created, and you're like, I want that one. It's brilliant.
Yeah. So, what have you been playing?
Tales of Zestiria.
Okay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think you mentioned that you're like slowly getting through it, but it's like hard for you to want to finish it.
I'm pretty close to the end, but I gotta say, it to me, it's the new. I'm thinking of even calling the video this whenever I make it. It's the new Black Sheep.
Really?
For me, it's like Legendia in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I don't know if Legendia is ever going to be. I think it's always going to be that game, unfortunately. Even though I really like that game, but it's like I think it's just always going to be that Black Sheep one that people mention.
I don't dislike Legendia. Like Black Sheep doesn't necessarily mean bad, and I wouldn't even say like Zestiria is a bad game.
It's not
but...
Dawn of the New World.
Okay, see, that's a bad game. The way I see it, like both games tried to do some new things, did some things that like is kind of unorthodox for the series, and end up not really working. That's not to say that other games in the series haven't like tried to innovate. I think, you know, Tales of Grace is that regardless of what you think of that game, I think that game tried to innovate a lot, and you know, I think it succeeded. I don't think anybody would say that's a black sheep. But yeah, Zestiria, I think the more I play it, it's weird. Like it kind of endears itself to me more, but I also I also see what's wrong with it more. So I'm pretty conflicted on the game right now.
Yeah, it's weird. I've looked back at it. Like I like it even less now that I've played Berseria, which is like probably one of the best Tales games they've done in a long time, and it's like almost an improvement in every way over Zestiria. So it's like now that when I look back at Zestiria, like I barely remember the story in that game. Like, like it's just it was so.
Like I'm playing the game, and like the majority of the game, like nothing fucking happens, or at least nothing really all that interesting. And now that I'm towards the end of the game, I'm like, okay, interesting things are finally starting to happen, but it's like too little too late. Like I'm almost at the end of the game now. Now's when you start doing some interesting things, and it's like, well, why didn't you do this earlier? Like 30 fucking hours ago.
Right, yeah.
Like a good chunk of that game, and this is when I dropped it, and I came back to it, and I'm like, oh yeah, now I know why I dropped it. I had just finished like the water shrine.
Yeah, that's definitely yeah, that is the worst part of that game by far.
But like, you know, you have to go to the fire shrine, the water shrine, the earth shrine, the wind shrine. So like nothing is really happening story-wise. You're just like going to these fucking locations. And that's not necessarily a bad thing as long as they can make it interesting. But the shrines themselves, like, are just okay, with exception to the water shrine, which is shit.
Yeah, because it's got those, like, teleporters, right, that you can't even, like, see. Or,
Okay, yeah, you can see them, but like they're super fucking sneaky about it. Like it'll
yeah,
be this insignia on the wall
right.
that's like across the entire fucking room, and then all of a sudden you're being teleported.
Yeah, that like I don't know who thought of that dungeon. It's just like it's so not fun. Like,
Yeah, it was bad. Like if the dungeons were fun, I'd be okay with it. Tales of Symphonia, a good majority of that game is going through similar elemental dungeons, and you could argue story-wise not much is going on, but it's okay because those are fun dungeons. Those are interesting dungeons with cool puzzles, and I didn't mind. But these shrines are kind of whatever, except for Water Shrine, which is shit. So it's a slog, is what it is. And yeah, I don't want to complain too much about Systeria, like, because I do want to make a video, but yeah, I think it's fair to call it like a lower mid-tier Tales game, or a low tier Tales game, like something like that. Like not quite like a flat out bad game or anything like that. Like, I do think it has its merits. I do think it has good stuff going for it, but yeah, it just doesn't really compare to the, like, if you look at this game and you look at fucking Tales of the Abyss or Vesperia, it's like there's no contest. It's like not even close.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like yeah, unless you're a hardcore Tales fan, you have to play them all. It's not like you can skip it. Like just not worth the time really.
Yeah, but I am a hardcore Tales fan, so fuck it. Gotta go through it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I have to finish like every single one.
Plus, it's the story is connected to Berseria. So.
That it is. That's one of the interesting things with that game. I that's like probably one of the lone reasons why I would recommend playing that, just because the way it connects with Berseria is actually really cool.
Except you don't even need to do that because there's an anime. So why not just watch that?
Yep.
And you don't have to go through the slog. And from what I hear, the anime, like, I saw the first episode. And the first episode, I was already like, they're doing a better job. Because in Tales of Systeria, the game, you know how you just see Alicia, like, lying on the floor? Like, in the very start of the game? The anime actually shows us what she was doing, why she was there, and how she ended up in that situation.
That would have been nice in the game.
Yeah, right? It's also animated by Ufotable, which is the same studio that has been animating the openings since Zillia. So the anime looks just like that. So it looks gorgeous.
Okay. Yeah. I know of them for sure.
So yeah, maybe I'll watch the anime and do talk about that as well and see how it compares to the game. But yeah, I'm gonna beat the game. I was hoping I'd have it finished before this podcast, but I'm like right there. I'm pretty close to the end. So I haven't been playing any other games, but I have been watching an anime, and I wanted to not to talk too much about it, but I did want to vent about it just a little bit. It's an anime called Eromanga Sensei. This anime is trash.
I saw you ranting on Twitter about this. This should be fun.
So, the reason I'm watching it is because the same author did another anime I saw called Ori no Imoto ga Kone ni Kowai Wake ga Nai, which translates to "My sister can't be this cute."
Oh, God.
Well, here's the thing. The title is supposed to throw you off. You watch the show and then you find out, oh, wait, it's not about that. He's actually annoyed with his sister and they have a bad relationship. So, I'm not going to say it's like a great show and you need to go out and watch it. But season 1 was decent. Season 2 was ungodly bad. Season 2, like, 'cause if season 1 was like a parody, season 2 became the parody. It was really bad. So I'm like, I remember how badly that turned out, and I see that this guy comes out with a new anime, so I'm like, okay, let's see how this turns out. Just out of curiosity, because season 1, again, nothing amazing, but was at least decent, so I was like, okay. And it had good humor, too, so I'm like, alright, let's see what he's got. This is like if season 2 was on steroids. Like, it's even worse. This show is fucking bad, dude.
Is it like, what's the reception of it? Is it like, are people liking it, or?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Like, there are some people who like it, and there are some people who really don't.
Okay.
Like, right now, it has a score of a 7 out of 10 between all of the scores on my anime list. And I'm not exactly sure how many people it is, but it has to be at least, like, in the thousands. So, the general consensus is that it's okay. Like, a 7 on that site means that it's good. It's not great, it's not mediocre, it's just good. And that's being way too fucking nice, if you ask me.
So where does this rank among, like, the worst anime you've seen?
I give it like I haven't finished it yet, because there's like 12 episodes, and I've seen 9. Episode 10 actually airs today, so...
Oh, okay.
Oh, boy! But, yeah, like... If I were to, like, score it, like, right fucking now on my anime list, I'd probably give it, like, a 3 out of 10. I'm like... It takes a lot for me to give something a 1. It's not quite a 1.
Yeah, well, 1 has to be... That has to be something really just...
Mm-hmm. But, like, a 3 for me is still, like... I gave Elfen Lied a 3. Like... It's like, you don't want to be in that company. So basically, I'm just going to explain the premise of the show real quick, and that alone is going to make you go like, yeah, no. So, the show is about this main character who is a light novel author. Light novels are a thing in Japan, where it's basically like, you know how you have like a series of books? You have like The Lord of the Rings, and then you have, like, The Two Towers, or whatever.
Yeah.
All right? Well, a light novel series is kind of like that, except they like, segment it into, like, different volumes or parts or whatever. So, you could have, like, a book series that spans, like, 12 books. And it's, like, volumes 1 through 12, and that is a light novel series. So, it's, like, basically a long story that's, like, cut up into these different books. And sometimes they'll have pictures and shit. And the main character writes, I think what's the name of his book? Silver Wolf Resurrection? Something really dumb sounding like that. And he lives with his sister, who's actually not his sister, because their parents got with each other after their own marriages have failed or whatever. They don't really go into much detail about that. All you really need to know is, no, it's okay, they're not actually blood related. But they still treat each other as brother and sister, kind of.
Yeah, I've seen that a million times before.
Here's the thing. He has an artist that helps him draw the covers of his books, or the art inserts in his books. He's never met this person. Guess who it is? That's right. It's his sister. And he never knew. In fact, she never knew either that she was drawing for him. What are the odds?
Oh, man.
And then it slowly starts developing into this weird fucking romance between the two of them. And I want to make this clear, too. She's only fucking 12.
Oh, no.
And the show takes several opportunities to sexualize her whenever they can. And I'm like, Fuck
Gross.
you. Fucking... Ugh! It's the most infuriating shit I've ever seen. And then there's other girls too, for some reason. There's gotta be other girls thrown into the story, and almost all of them have a thing for the main guy. Why? I don't fucking know. He's a bland piece of shit. There is nothing distinct about this fucker, but all the girls want his cock for some reason.
Isn't that School Days anime the same?
Kind of. Yeah. But then the thing is, that's how it is for a lot of harem anime. They're all about, like, bland insert pro tags that, you know, all the ladies like for some reason.
Is this considered one of those, or is it like...
It is, basically. Like, it's bad. It's really fucking bad.
Yeah, I definitely would not watch that.
Yeah, dude, it's... I've only got 3 episodes left, though. I gotta keep trucking. Just
yeah, if you're that close to the end, yeah, you have to see it through to the bitter
last
end.
episode I saw was a beach episode.
Oh, classic.
Except the girl with the big titties, there's only one, is in her bikini for less than a minute. The one possibly good thing about a fucking beach episode isn't capitalized on. Fuck this show. The one fucking thing. Oh, fuck. Piece of shit. Hate this show.
I wonder if anyone listening likes it.
I don't know. I mean, I would say, like, oh, there's things to like, but I don't see it. I don't see anything to like about this show. The only time I was like coming around with it even a little bit was episode 8. Episode 8, while I wouldn't go as far as say it was a good episode, it felt like it was directed by someone else. Like, it actually had a sense of pacing to it. They didn't sexualize a little sister character at all. Like, there actually was a part that made me laugh. I was surprised. And it was a decent episode. It still it's still Eromanga Sensei though, so it couldn't be good. But like, I was actually like, you know what? That wasn't bad. And then we get the beach episode, and then it all went to shit again.
Hey, maybe it has like an amazing ending or something.
Well, I think, not entirely sure. I think there's going to be a season 2. Now, if there is, tapping out. I'm sorry, can't do it. I'm fucking done.
That's what you say. What if this is like this guilty
done.
pleasure?
No, I'm done. I'm fucking done. So, alright, so, very surprisingly, we got a shitload of questions last time. Bufudine here asks, my question is, what's the most disappointing game you've ever played? And then he says further, for me, it's Genji Days of the Blade. I played Genji Dawn of the Samurai on PS2 and loved it, even if there were some improvements to be made. But Days of the Blade, aka the giant enemy crab game, was a step back in almost every way. From the corridor, linear level design to the mindless combat to the slow frame rate.
I never played that game, did you?
I beat both of them.
Oh, okay. Do you agree with them on that?
Totally.
Okay. Yeah, you know, I don't think I ever heard good things about that game.
I thought the first game, Days of the Blade, was a decent game. I wouldn't say it's anything to go out of your way for, but if you see it for cheap, yeah, pick it up. It's a solid little action RPG. It's very short. You'll beat it in an afternoon, and, you'll have a decent time with it. The sequel on PS3, terrible.
That's
It was, they have bad platforming, terrible camera angles. Just awful. And like you play as 4 different characters, and the only character that ever feels like fun to play is probably the main character with his dual swords. Everyone else has these really annoying fighting styles. They're just not fun to play with. And what's worse is, like, like the main character gets like better weapons throughout the game, but those weapons like change his animations, and they're nowhere near as good as the animations for the very first weapon you get.
That sucks. Yeah, that's annoying design.
Oh yeah, like his moveset, it pretty much changes per weapon, and even though those other weapons are stronger, the animations for them are not as quick and snappy and fun to use as the base weapon.
Is the base weapon like weak then compared to the stuff?
Yes.
So, oh, man, that's terrible. Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. So what would you say is the most disappointing game for you?
You know what? Okay, so for this question, I got to think of a game that's like there's a few games that I was disappointed by, but I still liked them. Like Mass Effect 2 and Oblivion stand out to me, but those are good games. So I have to pick something that I was kind of looking forward to and then ended up hating and think is a terrible game. So I'm going to actually go with The Legend of Zelda not Twilight Princess.
I was going to say.
No. That's a good game. Phantom Hourglass on the DS.
Okay.
So, like, the Zelda series is one of my favorite series of all time, and before I played this game, I had played every other entry in the series other than Spirit Tracks, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. I've liked or loved every single one of them. So I'd known about the touchscreen controls, and that was iffy to me. I was definitely put off by that, but I thought, you know what? I've yet to play a Zelda game, a bad Zelda game. What are the chances this is going to be it? And, well, it is. Spirit Tracks is pretty much just as bad as well. But the main thing with this game, other than like the touch controls, which I absolutely hate, it's so cumbersome, and I hate it. It's so gimmicky too. I hate it. The exploration is really lacking too. Like it's got like the Wind Waker style like overworld, but it's nowhere near as in depth, and like it's just there's not a whole lot to it. But the main dungeon, the central dungeon, the Temple of the Ocean King, it's a cool idea where it's this dungeon you have to keep returning to, and you constantly make progress as you get new abilities. But the actual design of the dungeon is fucking terrible. It is one of the worst things I've seen in any video game. Where it's okay. So it's this dungeon that's a combination of like a time limit, like a timed dungeon, where if you run out of time, you actually have to do a bunch of floors all over again. It's stealth. If you get caught by the enemies, you have to like follow their patterns. You get thrown back to the very beginning of the dungeon. And then it's got like a bit of an escort mission kind of thing going on as well. And then basically you have to keep coming back to this dungeon and go through the same floors you've already been through over and over again. The same tedious stealth sections. And that's all the dungeon is these horrible stealth sections. And there's maybe, I think there was like one time in the dungeon where you could like save the first half of the progress that you made and then just do the second half, but it's too little too late, and by the time I finished this dungeon, I was just like so fed up with it, and just it's completely soured my experience on that game. It was one of the most painful experiences of my life. And then the story wasn't very good in that game either. The music was really disappointing. The dungeons were incredibly simple. Like the puzzle solving was just not there. I hated pretty much everything about that goddamn game. Like, it was so disappointing.
Wow. Shit.
Yeah. No, don't play that game. It's dreadful. Spirit Tracks is pretty much just as bad, too, with the terrible train overworld garbage. The DS Zelda games, I can't believe that those were actually put out by Nintendo. It's like oh, God, so bad. Okay,
wow, shit. I'll never play that game.
There's my rant for the podcast. But what's your most disappointing game?
This is easy. Devil May Cry 2.
Oh yeah, I can't go wrong with that one.
I mean, I don't really even think I need to say more than that.
Yeah, I remember playing the collection of the Devil May Cry collection, and I hadn't played Devil May Cry 2 for a long time, playing that collection, but going back to it, I was like, oh man, this is rough.
Yeah, no, that game is one of the worst. We'll just leave it at that. So, let's see. I don't know how to pronounce this.
Salazar Naruto 52. Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. There we go. Oh yeah. Good job. he asks, he has 4 questions. This first one is, which console had the best library of RPGs?
Ooh.
That's difficult. I mean, I think I'm gonna go with the PS1.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah. Super Nintendo's close for me. PS2.
I was thinking Super Nintendo and PS2 were close.
Yeah.
But,
PS2, I haven't played enough on that system yet to say, but PS1, I mean, come on, Xenogears, Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy 7 to 9, Tactics, Suikoden 2, like, come on, it's just so many classics on there.
Breath of Fire 3 and 4.
Yeah.
You know, Grandia.
Grandia.
I don't know if you count it, but I think they count Mega Man Legends 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, for sure. Vagrant Story, I'm not crazy about, but I know a lot of people love that. Valkyrie Profile apparently is incredible. I haven't played that yet.
Brave Fencer Musashi.
Yeah, Alundra, I've heard's a pretty good one. I don't know if that's an RPG though, is it?
Alundra?
Yeah.
No, that's more of a Zelda clone.
Yeah. Still though, like incredible. Like I've almost every PS1 RPG I've played, I've just loved, and I think they all hold up really well.
I think Chrono Cross is really good too. I know some people don't like it.
No, Chrono Cross is better than Chrono Trigger. I said it.
Hot take.
There's my hot take. Better than Chrono Trigger. Fight me.
I haven't played Chrono Cross in a long time, so I'm not sure if I agree, but it's a really good game, so yeah. No, I would have to replay it.
Final Fantasy Tactics is on the PS1. Come on, man.
Yes.
It's
that's it. That's it. It's over. It's over. That game is a fucking masterpiece.
It sure is.
So his second question is, if you had to guess, or if you know, how many video games have you beaten in your life?
Ooh.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's hard to say. Hundreds, but...
Yeah, hundreds.
That's too tough. I don't know.
Yeah. I think we're just going to have to leave it at that. Hundreds.
Yeah.
No way to know. What is the best year in gaming?
So, 2017. This year, damn it.
This year, yeah.
Dude, we had fucking Nier Automata, Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Persona 5 all in a row. Like, that was like,
intense.
Almost unbeatable.
Intense.
I guess, what is it? 1998 is a commonly referenced year. I mean, what was that? Like Banjo-Kazooie, Ocarina of Time, Metal Gear Solid, Pokemon Blue. I think Xenogears actually was that year too.
Was that 98?
I think, was it? I feel like it is.
I don't remember.
But, I don't know. That's a good one. But, I honestly, 2017 is shaping up to be my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, 2017... a friend of mine said that 2017 has only started strong, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the rest of the year will be as good. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but this year has been so fucking good.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Mario Odyssey is probably coming out this year too. That's going to be another really good one.
I don't know if I'd say it's the best, but I think 1997 is a really strong year. We got Final Fantasy VII, GoldenEye, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Star Fox 64, The Curse of Monkey Island, Diddy Kong Racing, Oddworld, Quake 2, Crash Bandicoot 2, Dungeon Keeper. Fucking love Dungeon Keeper, man. That game is great.
Shit, 1997 is good, man. Those are all good games.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'll say it's necessarily like the best, but 97 is a strong fucking year.
Yeah, I couldn't really say what the best. One of my favorites probably 2017 because those like Nier, Zelda, and Persona 5 are so good that. And
yeah, they're not just like top 10, games of the year. They're top 10 games period for a lot of people.
Yeah, any one of those games would be like a number one or top 5 in any other year for sure.
Yeah, if any of those games came out any other year, they would have been that year's game of the year for sure.
Oh yeah.
All right. Which game has your favorite soundtrack of all time? Nier.
Oh, that's a good choice. That's definitely up there.
I always say like the runner-up we were talking about earlier. Tales of Legendia. I think its soundtrack is the best in the series and just one of the best soundtracks I've heard, period. I think
Really?
I fucking love Legendia's soundtrack.
Interesting. I don't know if I put it up there as high as you. I do really like it. It's definitely the best Tales soundtrack, but
I'd say to go back and listen to some tracks again. I think you've forgotten how good it is, because it is really, really good.
Okay, yeah, maybe I should do that. So Nier Automata, better soundtrack than Nier.
What?
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. It's like the best soundtrack of the year by far. Like the soundtrack in that game is incredible.
I have not played through Automata yet. I've only played through the beginning portion of the game, and then you end up on the spacecraft.
Okay, so yeah, just the intro.
Mm-hmm. So that's all I've really done. But the music I did hear was pretty great. Cannot deny that.
Yeah. My favorite soundtrack it was Chrono Cross, but you know what? I think Undertale has beat it now. I keep going back on YouTube and listening to the soundtrack over and over. I think there's so many songs in it, and every single one of them is amazing. They're all got that like nostalgic quality to them, like the kind of songs that you heard back in the day on like the 16 and 18-bit systems. They play such an integral part of like the game itself, and like the way they kind of combine with the storytelling is just absolutely fantastic. The variety of the tracks, it's like a great eclectic mix of tracks. A lot of them, like they just completely get you emotional. It's an incredible soundtrack, like a monumental achievement. Like, I mean, that game is already one of my favorite games of all time, but the soundtrack is a huge part of the reason why. Just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I haven't played Undertale yet. I do own it, but I just haven't gotten through it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's got like the huge fan base, so there's definitely some haters. It's definitely not for everyone.
I do want to play it though. It does seem like a cool game.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, eventually. Yeah, it's not too long. It's like maybe like 12 hours to get like the true ending.
All right. So Matt Wheaton has a few questions as well. His first question is, "What would be your favorite anime?" So I think if I had to guess for you, it'd probably be Perfect Blue.
Now is this? I guess this would be considering movies and TV, right?
Right.
Yeah. You know what? I'm actually gonna say Spirited Away.
Oh, wow!
Yeah.
Really?
I
didn't expect that.
I really like the first time I saw that movie. I loved it. Like this was like back when it came out. So I was like probably 11 or something. But I've seen it multiple times since, and it's like I don't know. That's like just like this magical movie that I'll just never really forget. I still need to see a lot more Miyazaki movies. I'm pretty bad with that. There's a lot of movies of his I haven't seen, but Spirited Away. I think out of all the ones I've seen, it's definitely my favorite.
I always get shit for this. That's like one of my least favorite Miyazaki movies.
Well, you know, that doesn't surprise me. I think people that like seen of all this stuff probably might say it's one of their least favorites.
Not bad. It's a good movie. I like it. I just feel that compared to Princess Mononoke, Laputa Castle in the Sky, you know, I just think, you know, those movies are better.
Okay. So I've seen those two, and I definitely prefer Spirited.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's, like I said, still a good movie, but I just feel like his other films are better.
Yeah. Berserk would be my favorite of course, of the TV type animes.
Yeah, yeah. I almost forgot you saw Berserk. Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
That one's a high up there. The old one, not the new one.
No.
Got to make that clear, because the new one is trash.
Yeah, admittedly, I've only seen the all the gifs of the horrible CGI, but
one of these days, I've only seen like the first couple episodes of it, and I was so disgusted, I just like tapped out. But one of these days, I'm gonna be like, let's just fucking do it and just get through it and just see how bad it really is. But I guess for me, I don't have a single favorite. There's too many. So you know what? I'm just gonna list you 10 and my top 10, and they're in no particular order. These are just like my top 10 in an interchangeable order. So Perfect Blue, the Karano Kyokai Garden of Sinners movie series, Samurai X Trust and Betrayal, Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, Fate Zero, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, 5 centimeters per second, Berserk, Gungrave, and Millennium Actress.
Okay. Yeah, so I've seen some of those. Actually, very little.
Yeah. So, next question. Which JRPG had the best villains?
Villains is tough. I don't know. I know villain, my favorite villain in a JRPG. Suikoden 2, Luca Blight. I tend to like villains like that. They're just so over the top, just evil, just no redeeming qualities to them, absolutely, like whatsoever. But one of my favorite things about the villain, I'm not going to spoil anything here. I love his arc, actually. I can't spoil anything, but I think it's really, I wasn't expecting it the way it handles him. I think it was really smart, actually. Actually, you know what? That game has good villains, period.
Well, I don't think the question was meant to be taken like that literally, of like multiple villains. Just asking in general, like what JRPG had like a good villain.
No, yeah, it's Suikoden 2, for sure. It was my favorite.
I haven't played Suikoden 2, and the reason is because... I want to play Suikoden 1 first.
Yeah, I can get that. Yeah, it's a good game, the first one. It's not like amazing. Like I'd almost say you could skip it. There are some story, like you do get more out of it if you have played the first one, but man, the second one's so good.
I think my answer would be Fu Lu from Breath of Fire 4. And the reason I say that is because unlike most villains, you actually get to play as him for significant portions of the game. So you're kind of in this interesting position where you're going through what is the main game, and you're playing as Ryu, and you're going across the world, and you're exploring with your band of characters, and then occasionally you switch over to Fu Lu, the villain, and you play as him, and he's exploring as well, but he's by himself. So you get to really experience his character firsthand. You really get to see just how powerful he really is. And it's interesting to see like the growth of Ryu as a main character, and you see him growing more powerful as the game goes on. And at the same time, you're also playing as the villain, and you already see how much of a monster he is. And he's just like enemies that you won't face till the end of the game. He's facing in the beginning of the game, basically, and he's just wrecking their shit by himself. And it's really interesting how they decided to handle that.
That is actually really cool. That really, man, I haven't played that game. I need to play.
It's good. It's good.
I actually haven't played really any Breath of Fires. Like, I mean, I've played the first two a bit, but they're a little too archaic for me. But 3 and 4, I definitely need to play.
Yeah, if you feel that the first game is definitely the weak link. It's basically your typical turn-based Super Nintendo JRPG, and the only like twist to it is the main character can turn into a dragon. The second game is a better game for the most part, but I can understand if that's also like too old for you as well. 3 and 4 is like generally considered the peak of the series. And a lot of people tend to have more nostalgia for 3 over 4, but I think 4 is underrated in that respect. Like I think 4 is just as good, if not better than 3. I think 4 is like really fucking great. And one of the things I especially like about 4 is it has this oriental like style and atmosphere and world to it. 3 is a little more like swords and sorcery with that JRPG edge to it, but 4 has this like very Chinese oriental look and feel to it that gives it just this very different like spice to it, that it makes it feel different. And it's Also got really good characters, really good story, and the visuals, like the sprites, I think they're done. They look like they were done by Street Fighter Alpha, like sprite team or something. Like the sprites in that game look really fucking good, really smooth. So, and the music is phenomenal. The music in Breath of Fire 4 is fucking great. Strongly recommend it. Just give it a shot.
I have it on my Vita, so I'm definitely gonna play it at some point.
Dude, do it. You won't be disappointed. Trust me, it's really fucking good.
Do you think I would? Do you think I should play 3 first? I know they're not connected in any way, but is it like, would 3 seem a little outdated gameplay wise?
Yeah, not really. I think the only thing that will feel outdated is the visuals, because the visuals between 3 and 4, like the sprite work, it feels like a huge step up. But not otherwise, not really. Like,
okay, so yeah, I'm probably gonna play 4 because I don't own 3 yet. But
you can download 3 on the Vita as well. You
can, yeah. It hasn't gone on sale yet. I keep waiting.
Enough.
Like 4 goes on sale quite often for like $1 or something, and it's like Breath of Fire 3 never does. I don't know why.
Well, I think part of it is the version of Breath of Fire 3 on the Vita is the PSP version, and not a PS1 classic like Breath of Fire 4.
Okay, yeah, that would explain it. Yeah. Oh, whatever. It's still like probably like $10 or something. I'm sure that's plenty. That's definitely worth it.
It's, yeah. The thing that a lot of people like about 3 is it has this gene splicing mechanic where each game has you turning into a dragon, and each game handles it differently. And the thing that made 3 stand out is as the more you explore the world, you find these different dragon genes. And you can... At first, I think in the beginning it's only 2, but eventually it becomes 3, and you can get like a fire gene, and then you can get like the strength gene, or you can get like the defense one, and you can mishmash them together, and you can become like a certain type of dragon.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things that people really liked about that game. While in 4, it doesn't have that level of customization, but each dragon is more personalized. So there are less dragon transformations, but each one feels more unique. So, not one's like better than the other. They're just different. Last question from Matt. Is this current console generation the best or worst that it's ever been? Neither.
Yeah, neither. It's close to the best, honestly. I've really been liking this console generation. I don't think any console generation is like all that bad. Like most of them are actually have been like really good. There's just I feel like it's getting better in a way because there's just so many games to play now. It's ridiculous. Like you're never gonna be bored. Like it's just like there's always gonna be something to interest you. But
I saw a lot of people bitching about like the previous generation, saying like, "Oh, that generation sucked," and I'm like, really? I mean, it wasn't perfect, but there were still a lot of really great games that came out in the previous gen.
I know. It's like, I mean, I guess people probably are just stuck on like how long it lasted, but
it did last a while, yeah.
The games, man, there's a ton of great games that came out last generation.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't really think of any generation in particular that I think is the best or the worst.
No, yeah, it's... Yeah, no, I can't really choose.
Yeah, I think they all have their own, like, pros and cons. So, alright. Next question is by our good buddy, Devil May Pie. We should probably have Devil May Pie on the podcast one of these days.
Oh, yeah, definitely, hands down.
He asks, if you were suddenly fluent in Japanese, what would be the first game you play? A
lot of the games I can think of are already translated, but maybe I would choose a game where it's like the Japanese, the original, like the original dialogue is more... I don't know. That's a tough question. I don't know, actually.
I have an answer ready. The first Growlancer.
So did that get a fan translation?
Nope.
Or no? No, okay. So yeah, because I'm trying to think of games that didn't, and I can't think of any, actually.
Yeah, that's why I would want to play it. What's really fucked up is we got 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Oh,
but
man.
we didn't get 1, and we didn't get
That
6. What else was fucked up was Growlancer 2 had like a weird mini game in it. I don't even know if you call it mini game. I don't know exactly what it was. But it had a thing that, like, if you didn't have knowledge of the first game, it made 0 sense.
Okay.
And so I couldn't do anything in it. Like, it was weird. But
I thought of a game. I thought of it.
Okay.
I was surprised I didn't think of this. Tales of Rebirth. It doesn't have a translation yet. I think they're working on it.
Yeah, that one's strong. That's a strong answer.
There we go.
Yeah. They're working on it, but like I don't know if there's been any headway or if there's been any progress or anything.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've been wanting to play Tales of Rebirth for a long time. Actually, the I think combat system in that game was made by the same guy responsible for the combat in Graces.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the art style that game has. But yeah, I heard good things too from people that have played it. That it's one of the better ones.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that game. So the next question is favorite gaming merchant. For example, mine would be Anna from Fire Emblem Awakening and the Stranger guy from RE4. The way he wrote down like the strange jaw. But yeah, I don't know how you can beat this the stranger.
I was gonna say he already answered it for me. That's my choice, man. How can you can't beat that?
Yeah. Although Anna from Fire Emblem Awakening is pretty cute, so that's a good one. But no, yeah, I can't. Actually, you know what? I got an answer. Have you ever played Atelier Iris?
No, I've not played any of those games.
Okay, so Atelier Iris, Eternal Mana on the PS2. Pretty good turn-based RPG. I really like it. And one of the things I really dug about the game is you have like your main town, and you're always constantly going back to it. It's kind of like your headquarters in a way. And as a result, you're going to be going back to the same merchants over and over. So I guess realizing this, the developers decide, well, why don't we take more advantage of this? And there's a merchant girl that you're going to have to speak to her like multiple times, obviously, because you're always going to be like needing to buy things from her, you know, healing items or like stuff that you need to do alchemy, you know, equipment, whatever you need. And they decided to create like kind of a sub-story of sorts, or like a side story, or whatever you want to call it, where occasionally when you would go by to talk to her, it would trigger a cutscene, and the girl, throughout the course of the entire game, slowly starts to fall in love with the main character. And it becomes a little awkward at the same time, because the main character also has a thing with, you know, one of the girls in the party. She's like I guess a deuteragonist, like it's her and the main character, they're both the main characters. So, like, he's kind of have a thing going with her, but at the same time, this merchant girl also has, like, a thing going. So, it's you know, I thought it was cute. I thought it was fun. You know, the conversations were nice. You know, it was interesting to see what, you know, how they turned out. So, that's my pick. I thought she was a good merchant.
Okay. I thought of one, actually. The Happy Mask Salesman from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I mean, he's kind of a merchant more into story. I think, although I swear Ocarina of Time, you actually get stuff from him. Yeah, you trade the masks.
Yeah.
True. So yeah, he's just got over the top crazy, and I like the role he plays in Majora's Mask as well. Also, Tay from Persona 5, the clinic.
Oh, she's
a merchant.
She's one fucking merchant. Yeah, I almost want to take back my answer, but no, I like my answer. Next question is by Dreadful Boredom. He asks, do you think people's nostalgia of a game can cloud their judgment of it when reviewing it? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's the hardest thing too, to try to like get over, well, not really get over it, but like, it's tough, man. It's tough in that situation, because like, if I tried to review a game like Ocarina of Time, like, it's just, how do you do it? Like, because the nostalgia for that game is just, it's too much. It's almost just too much for me. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, for sure.
And it's also difficult talking to certain people that their nostalgia for something is like, it's so strong that they don't want to hear anything you have to say about it. That they just, their mind is set, and they, you know, nothing you could say can like change their mind at all.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that sometimes. Like with Earthbound, it's like, like I understand why people are just not into that game, but it's like it's so like like the nostalgia is so powerful with that game. It's like, and a lot of stuff I guess that I don't mind about it. Lots of people just hate, especially with like the gameplay of that game.
For a long time, I held this really strong nostalgia for Final Fantasy VIII, and it wasn't until like recent years where I started looking back on it and going like, okay, yeah, that game's got issues.
Yeah, I don't know. I still love the gameplay of that game though.
Yeah, you weird. Like I remember when you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna play Final Fantasy VIII." I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna hate it," and then you turned out loving it. I was like, "Oh shit!"
That game really surprised me. I was not expecting to like it near as much as it did. It's still the only Final Fantasy where I did all the optional stuff. I did all the optional super bosses. Like I did pretty much everything, which I never did for any other game in the series.
I think we can at least agree that the story's a mess.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not crazy about the story or some of the characters, and then the Renoa Squall relationship. I thought was just cheesy.
Well, Eyes on Me, you know.
Oh, and I hate that. I hate that song. Absolutely hate it. It's like the only song in that entire soundtrack that I hate. Like the rest of the soundtrack is so good, and then that song is just trash. So I pissed off some people there, but I don't care. I hate that song.
I actually like that song. I mean, it probably is a really cheesy song, but I don't know. There's something about it.
The cringe was unreal.
I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to defend it. All right, question 2. Thoughts on when people say that if this video company does this, then they'll become awesome again. Thought about this when people are talking about the FF7 remake and with Konami.
I don't know. It's like, that's like just like a personal thing, right? It's like, I don't, like some person might want a certain company to do this one thing, and then in their eyes that fixes everything, and then they think that's awesome. But another person might look at that and be like, might not care. It depends on the person, but I don't know. It's not really something I think about all that much, really.
I think it's just like, I think it's kind of like when a band stopped playing a certain type of sound. Like their earlier albums sounded a certain way and their modern sound is different, and fans go like, oh, if they just went back to their old sound, they'd be good again.
Yeah.
Personally speaking, I can kind of sympathize with that in a way, but a company first and foremost has to make money, and just because you want them to do something that may not necessarily be lucrative for them. So, and that can be a hard pill to swallow because you just want them to make the stuff that you liked, you know, the reason why you became a fan of that company in the first place, but what you liked may not necessarily make the money anymore. It may have made the money at the time, but now that may not necessarily be the case.
Yeah, that's true.
And the last question, how gleeful would you be to restructure Square Enix's entire staffing, management, development, marketing, etc., and what would be the first thing changed from your restructuring?
I wouldn't be gleeful. I'd be I'd be like stressed out. I wouldn't know the first thing to do.
Fire Nomura.
Yeah?
Cause that dude, like, he loves, like, announcing games and says he's working on, like, 3 fucking games at the same time and doesn't actually finish any of his fucking projects. It took Tabata to, like, rip Final Fantasy 15 from his fucking fingers to be able to finish it, and it was a mess as a result because it was clearly made by, like, 2 different people, or, like, two different, like, visions, rather.
Yeah, I guess the way they handle their Western studios is a little, I think they expect too much from like the sales. Like it's kind of ridiculous. Like with the Hitman thing now, it's a little shitty because that game didn't do well. So now they're trying to like sell off IO Interactive, which is lame because that game's so good. But
yeah, I heard the new Hitman was really good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It really sucks that game didn't do well. I don't know if marketing was a part of it. I think they marketed it too much in the early part when only like 1 episode was out, that's a little tough with the episodic nature of that game, like how you market something like that. But the I don't know, the guy who's the guy that directed Final Fantasy 15 and Type Zero.
Tabata.
Yeah, I know. I haven't played Crisis Core. I need to play that first, but I've not been a huge fan of that guy's games that he's directed.
I really like Crisis Core.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to play Crisis Core. Maybe I would like the game, but Type Zero I hated, and Final Fantasy 15 I thought wasn't very good either. So I don't know.
The one thing I really appreciated about Crisis Core was whenever it was covering the same ground as the original game, it made an effort to not like retcon stuff. It may have retconned something here or there, maybe something minor that I'm not remembering. But for the most part, it actually like respected what happened in the original game and tried not to like fuck with anything. And anything that happened around that time was kind of like stuff you wouldn't have known about.
Okay, yeah, I really need to play that, but they won't put it on the fucking PlayStation Network. It's really irritating.
The ending of that
Why?
game especially is like really powerful.
Is it?
The ending to Crisis Core is one of the best endings I've ever seen in a game.
So I guess it's probably like the best thing, like the best side thing to Final Fantasy VII, right?
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. That Advent Children movie, piece of shit. Dirge of Cerberus, mediocre third-person shooter. What else came out? There was a mobile game, I guess. I don't know. I never played that. But Crisis Core isn't just like the best of like what came out of those shitty FF7 spin-offs. On its own, it's good. Like, even if you never played Final Fantasy VII, it's a good game on its own. It follows Zack. It's about him. It's his story, his character arc, and there are references. Obviously, it has to the original game of Final Fantasy VII, and it does show you like a few things here and there, like, oh, it shows you how Tifa came up with the name of her bar and things like that.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, but aside from that, like, it's just a good game. I guess my biggest issue with it is the side missions you do are shit.
Oh.
The main missions are fine, but like there's a lot of side missions and all it is like going through the same environments over and over again, killing enemies.
Yeah, it's a common problem in a lot of RPGs.
Yeah, they're kind of shit.
Yeah.
But you know, aside from that, main story, most of the stuff that has to do with the main story is good. And overall, I'd say it is a good game.
Okay, yeah, so I'm not sure if I would want... Well, I mean, for the next Final Fantasy game, I wouldn't want Tabata directing it. Like, my dream would be, like, get Yasumi Matsuno, I think that's his name, director of Tactics and part of 12. Get him to direct a Final Fantasy game again.
I heard that when he was making 12, he had experienced some issues, like he
like health issues.
Yeah, health issues.
Yeah, so maybe it was just too much for him or something. I don't know.
And I think it's because of that they were able to sneak in bullshit like Vaughn. His character has like no real relevance, and he was like kind of thrown in there. And I think some of the more questionable elements of that game were done not under his watch, and that's why they got snuck in.
Right. Yeah.
All right, those are all of the questions. Thanks a lot, guys. Like, those are a lot of great questions. Really appreciate it. So if you want to ask more questions, go ahead, and we'll try to answer them the best we can. So we now come to the final fan favorite, the UltimateFloyd Instrumentality project. Now, last time I asked him to watch Gundam Thunderbolt. Now, I pretty much decided if you didn't end up liking this, I would never ask you to watch anything Gundam or mecha related again. So, I gotta ask, did you like it?
It was not bad. I mean, it was okay, I think. I don't think I loved it. Okay, where do I start with this? First off, the things I guess I liked about it. The music is actually amazing. I really liked
I thought you would like the jazz.
Music. Yeah, because it's, well, the jazz and like the kind of more pop songs that are in it.
The music in general is great.
Yeah, I really like the way it kind of ties in with like the themes of the movie and like with the characters as well. And yeah, the way it tackles like the war theme I thought was kind of interesting. Although some of the dialogue was a little too, I don't know, it was a little too direct for me. Like I'd kind of wish it was like maybe a little more subtle.
To be fair, it may have been like a fault of the translation.
What? Oh yeah.
That's kind of the thing about dubbing, where like if you were to watch something dubbed and then you watched it subbed, what they said in the dub and what they say in like the subtitles oftentimes was very different.
Yeah, I mean, because there was one part where it was like where it's like, "Oh, your father really liked this song, didn't he?" And I'm just like, "Oh, come on, didn't need to say that." I could gather that from the flashback sequence, but I like the action. The action scenes were good. They were pretty like intense and like the well directed. And then yeah, there's one scene that I really liked. I think I'd seen it before, like you showed me it already, but the when he's like thinking when he's kind of like in his Gundam, like testing it out with his like artificial limbs kind of thing, and he's like having like these flashbacks to his past when he actually was not when he was not when he had his legs, and just like all the good times he had, like that. I liked that, and like the music that was set to. I also liked later when he ended up losing an arm in battle, and then they basically like take off his other arm, which I thought that was actually that was like well done and like pretty brutal, and just like how he basically doesn't care a whole lot. Like he's so into the war aspect of everything that he's like, it's like he has to kill that Gundam. He's just not thinking about like anything else really, and how like horrible of a situation he's put in.
Yeah, and it's kind of just consumed his whole being in a way.
Yeah, it's like it's all he is almost at that point. Like it's like everything, like I don't know, like it's interesting. It's like the limbs that he had was like a part of him like back in the past, and like all of that's gone, and he's like almost like a shell of his former self basically.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
and,
so I liked all
yeah. And he didn't even realize it, because like it took Fleming to kind of point out to him that he was enjoying it, and he didn't even realize it. Like he was so absorbed into it, he didn't even realize that he had been actively enjoying what he was doing.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I'm so bad with like the names and stuff. Like I was so like I couldn't memorize like all the characters' names. It's maybe something I'd have to watch again to understand. I guess some parts were kind of confusing. I didn't know exactly why this war was happening.
Okay, see, you would have to have seen the original Mobile Suit Gundam.
That's what I imagine. Yes,
because it's happening. That what's going on there is happening towards the end of the original Mobile Suit Gundam series.
Okay.
That's like, practically a fucking history lesson to explain.
Okay. So yeah, so that was a little, I don't know, I was put off by that a little bit. I wish it was a little more self-contained, I guess.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like, that's kind of how Gundam does. Like, they have, like, there's the original main series, and whenever they kind of dip back into it, they like to do these, like, offshoot side stories. And this is one of them.
Okay.
So, yeah. Kind of expect you to have seen it, but not really.
Okay. I like the ending, too. Actually, the more I talk about it, the more I think, yeah, no, I liked it overall. It's just, I don't know, I guess with the same thing with the last one, nothing about it really, I don't know, like, nothing about it was, like, super amazing to me. Like, it wasn't, like, a thing where I couldn't, like, it was just, like, so I was so into it, like I wanted more. It's a little hard to explain why, though. I don't know.
This was a newer anime, so how did you feel about the visuals?
That I could tell, because like the visuals were really top notch. Like the animation was all really good as well. Something
I appreciate about it is it's drawn in the old style, but it has like a new polish. So I think it looks really amazing for that reason, but it still avoids that trapping that a lot of modern anime have, where they have like this overly like plasticky, mushy kind of look to them. Like this still looks and feels gritty.
Right. Yeah, that's true for sure.
One scene in particular I also really like towards the end, when they when the two guys have like their final battle, and Daryl's mobile suit kind of like blows up, and you have like this visual of him, like, it's like this, like in the explosion, you can see him like running, like he was when he was on the beach, and then you see like his arms and legs kind of disintegrate. And it's like this kind of weird visual. And I always kind of took that to mean that that mobile suit kind of became his body. Him losing that mobile suit is like him without being a body again. Because that's also how he was able to be in the war. Without having a mobile suit like that, he's kind of worthless. As if he had only stumps, which he, that's basically what he's been degraded to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, anytime like they showed like the limbs like kind of being attached like the Gundam, there's like, I don't know, a certain like morbid quality to it.
Yeah, it's kind of uncomfortable seeing him like use those like poles and sticks and have to like put them inside of the mech in order to use it. Like, it's kind of sad just looking at it.
Yeah, I will say, if like for some of the action scenes, like I kind of got confused sometimes, like who was what, like who was like where in the scenes. Like, I don't know, it was hard to kind of differentiate everything.
Yeah, I think part of that is you're not as familiar with the Xeon mobile suits compared to the Earth Federation mobile suits. Because, like, they have their own, like, distinct designs. And I think because of that, I never had really an issue. But, like, if you're not as aware of their designs, then it might be harder to, like, keep up.
Yeah, definitely it.
Okay, so overall, not too bad?
Overall, not too bad, yeah. I think I would say I liked it. Whether I like it more than... I think I probably preferred Magnetic Rose. I think it's more my style. But
yeah, no, definitely. Magnetic Rose is definitely better than this. This, I think, is more like a straightforward, like, entertaining film, as opposed to Magnetic Rose, which I think is more of an experience.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So
what's next?
This is a short 3 episodes, only 3 episodes. I think OVA series. Called Cyber City Edo.
Cyber City Edo. Yeah, I've not heard of this.
All right. This is directed by Kawajiri, and he is known for directing Wicked City, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, and a fan favorite, Ninja Scroll.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of Vampire Hunter D and Ninja Scroll.
He directed specifically the second Vampire Hunter D movie, which is generally widely considered the superior film.
Okay.
So Cyber City Edo is a like cyberpunk, futuristic 3-episode series, and it's basically about these 3 criminals, these convicts, and their crimes are like so ridiculous. They have like hundreds of thousands of years worth on their sentence. And the show is basically them doing different stuff with the police in order to ease their sentence. They have these collars on that, like, if they fuck up, they can just kill them. So they have them on a leash basically to help them out with whatever investigations that they may have. Each episode, there's 3 of them, and each episode focuses on these 3 different convicts. And it's just, honestly, you can watch each episode in whatever order you want in a way, because they're just 3 self-contained stories. I think it's just really solid. I don't think it's anything that's like super amazing or blow your way, but I think they're just 3 really solid, fun, enjoyable episodes.
Okay, that's interesting. I like the concept already. Like I tend to like those kind of like cyberpunk futuristic kind of things like that. 3 episodes. Is there like that's interesting. Is there a lot of like anime series where it's like a short amount of episodes like that? It's kind of weird. I think it was more common back in the day. I don't think they do it quite as much. So nowadays. When did these come out? This is mid-90s. Mid-90s. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm going to like these. I think you will too. I think it's good, And what I like about it is it's not about, oh, we're finally free. It's nothing like that. It's basically, this is what they're dealing with right now. It's showing you a glimpse of what they're dealing with, and that's it. Okay, that's cool. So I really appreciated that because it didn't like set up this weird expectation of like everything's going to be resolved in the end or something like that. No, it's just
3 individual stories focusing on these 3 different convicts, and they do know each other, and they do like interact with each other throughout the episodes, but it's pretty clear that each episode is focused specifically on each of the individuals.
Okay.
Oh, and I have to recommend a very specific version because there is, I think, more than one dub. And one of the dubs has kick-ass metal music and a ridiculously over-the-top dub where the character... It's one of those so bad it's awesome dubs where the characters are like swearing every other sentence, and like the cussing gets to like really ridiculous degrees, and it just adds to like the kind of like the cheese and the like the camp of it, kind of. Like, there's one line that always sticks with me because it's the funniest shit where this one of them says, "You wouldn't know a goddamn vampire if it came and bit off the end of your fucking dick."
I don't. So I guess the other dub is kind of more, it's like way more subdued and probably.
I'm guessing because that's the only version. No, that's the only one I saw because that's the only one people ever like recommended me. It's like, this is the one you gotta see because it's got great music and this fucking hilarious dub.
Maybe I should see. I guess maybe I should stick to that one though.
I don't know. Maybe why did that turn you off?
Maybe I should see both. No, I mean it can be if it's like a really. I don't know though. Maybe I would like it. It's hard to say. I'd have to see an episode at least. Maybe I should watch both and just like kind of compare the two. That'd be interesting.
Maybe. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it added to the fun of the show, personally.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. I might like watch maybe a little bit of it in both and see which I kind of prefer. But no, it was great to see so many questions. Definitely like keep asking more. We'll definitely do them. I mean,
keep them coming.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like we did that kind of replace like the news and the discussion topic just because there's so many. We might do the same thing if there's a ton for the next one, but I don't know. Like usually the questions tend.
Well, there was one news topic I remember right now that was kind of funny. I guess I'll bring it up just because it was funny, where the author of the Witcher books is super butt mad that the games are as popular as they are, and the reason why it's so funny is because he didn't expect the games to be popular. So he sold the rights to The Witcher for like a paltry sum.
Yeah. Yeah, I read that too.
Like for basically nothing almost. And then it turned into a multi-million-dollar franchise.
Yeah, it reminds me of the fidget spinners that are like really popular now. The woman that came up with that like years ago, like couldn't afford the patent to keep the patent, so she like sold it off, and then years later they eventually got super popular, and she's not making anything off of it.
That's a shame.
Yeah, she's actually, there's an interview with her. She's actually good about it. I was surprised. If I was in that position, I'd be like, fuck.
I'm sure some part of her is like, oh, I could have used that money.
Yeah.
But this is way funnier because the reason he didn't think it'd go anywhere is because apparently this author like has no respect for video games as an artistic medium. He thinks it's just trash. And as a result, he was just like, you're gonna make a game off these books? What the fuck ever. Like, just pay me a flat rate and that's it. And instead of like actual royalties. And woof, he fucked up.
So I guess in some interview he's probably like being like, what did he say? Do you know what he said in like a recent interview? I guess he was just salty.
I do. No, yeah, like I don't remember exactly what he said, but I do remember there was something about like him getting really, really mad because one of the covers of his more recent books had Geralt from the game as opposed to his original vision of Geralt. And he got really fucking mad about that.
Dude, no, yeah, Witcher is just monstrous now. Like that third game really did well.
I imagine the first game did okay. You know, got its foot in the door. The second game, I think it did decent.
It did well, yeah.
You know, but the third game turned into a fucking phenomenon. Like everyone's playing.
Yeah, no. Game. The game they're doing next, Cyberpunk 2077, that sounds up my alley like completely. Like that game sounds amazing. I'm actually really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I think actually there was a news story about that recently as well, where someone has stole some art for that game, and they threatened to reveal it, and they were like, "Fuck you, we don't care. We're gonna make an official announcement when we make it. You know, we're not gonna give in to your shitty demand."
Yeah,
I'm like, that's what I want to hear.
Projekt Red is a great company. Like they're really fantastic, actually. Like they're very consumer friendly, and just a lot of the practices that they have are great.
They also own Good Old Games.
That's true, yeah, too. And they're Polish, like me.
Oh, you're Polish?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought. Oh, wow, cool.
Well, Polish heritage, not born there or anything.
All right, you were born in Canada land.
Canadian land.
All right, that's pretty much everyone. That's a wrap. We will see you next time, hopefully. I guess we'll talk about E3 next time.
Yeah, sounds about right.
All right, take care, everyone.
Later.